Oh my god.
I'll just throw it out here.
Yeah. So Elfen Lied sucks. I've never seen it.
Yes.
Apparently, people really like anime.
A very
The
important
only good thing about Elfen Lied is that it's violent and nudity.
Yeah.
Porn and nudity.
Yeah.
big tit decapitation.
Well, I mean, it
Doesn't a puppy explode in it?
I hope so.
No,
I hope so.
a puppy is being horribly bashed in
that's
by
right.
bad
I wonder
kids.
what
It's even better.
I wonder
It's
what
fucking-
much more successful science fiction novel it ripped off.
Yeah, probably Scanners. Scanners easily. Yeah.
It all comes
was
back
gonna
to
say-
Scanners
Scanners.
was awesome.
Sorry.
Scanners
gonna
was
say-
definitely good.
They're really
Sorry.
like Elfen Lied could have been much better if it wasn't this stupid gay ass fucking
Anime.
hands
Anime.
playing out of their backs. Like, what the fuck is this crap?
Yeah.
Just make it like about psychics. What the fuck?
Because
But
Eva
of course-
came out. Eva came out. And it's
I
like
was-
we have to have angels, but they got to be edgy angels.
I was
Yeah.
gonna I
was
was
going
gonna say
to
it was- I was going to say that it was ripping off the
Parasite. Well, also, what was it? Rev Saphion. That was very Evangelion when that came out, and then Brain Powered.
You mean Evangelion, as Robin
Evan.
Williams pronounced it, which is the correct pronunciation.
Well, right. But
As he is confirmed now.
Yes,
even
fucking.
chilly.
It's very underrated movie, to be honest. 1 Hour Photo. You don't hear a lot of people talking about 1 Hour Photo these days. It was a really
I
good
liked
movie.
Death to Smoochie.
Death
Death
to
to
Smoochie I wanted to like more than I liked, but it was still a pretty decent movie.
But I still liked it.
I think
Yeah.
it ended a bit clean.
Yeah,
Like,
in a way, I was expecting it to be like way darker.
Like a very bad thing.
Well,
Yeah,
it takes you right up to the cliff of no return, and then everybody's like, "No, I'm a happy guy," and then they like have a musical number at the end.
Well, I have to admit, Jackie Wilson, "Love Lift You Higher" song, great song. Actually, that's still a great song. That's a fucking great song.
Is Death to Smooch even worth watching?
I think
Yeah,
it is.
I would
Yeah.
think so. I didn't even like it
Because
that
I-
much, and I would say it's worth watching.
I do hear great things about it, but like not enough. So
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even know.
it's not that level. It's not so great that it's like you gotta watch it. It was pretty
It
decent.
won't make the list of movies you need to watch to become a good artist.
No, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
big problem. It would get
The
an
whole
eh.
Dark City list, or
I wouldn't put Dark City on there just on our taste, but like other people might. I don't know. Dark City has a great
City's good.
aesthetic, and is like if a doctor was talking to a nurse and he said, "Hand me an aesthetic," it might be Dark City.
Dark. It might include Dark City.
You know what
Because
other
of
film
the
makes
aesthetic.
will make you fall asleep? Fifth Element.
Fifth Element makes you fall asleep.
I like that movie
Element.
too. I would say that's kind of on par with Death to Smoochie and Dark City. It's a relatively decent movie, but not so great that you gotta run out and watch it.
It was a bit of a letdown because
Yeah, a little. Yeah, I felt the same way about Death to Smoochie.
I'm
This
big
is
into
all of this is a great topic for why World of Warcraft sucks, because
Yes.
that's what the video is about. How to fix World of Warcraft, and I
Fifth
gotta
Element.
say, Death to
Not that great a
Smoochie.
movie, but still a lot better
Death
than
to
World of
Smoochie is better than World of
What the
Warcraft.
heck did I walk into?
Yeah, that's what you walked
Giant
into.
rant. Yeah, I
After
just walked
Red
into a
Wing
giant
Fire.
rant about like movie that I don't even know what you're talking about, and then all of a sudden, freaking.
movies.
It's a movie about Robin
World of
Williams being
Warcraft.
washed up comedian.
Yes. This is an
And then-
episode of How to Fix World of Warcraft. You didn't know that?
World of Warcraft
I
needs
mean,
more psychic battles
I've
than
walked
breasts.
Yes.
I've walked
It's-
into you guys
World
talking
of
about.
Warcraft needs to end.
World of
Talking about,
Warcraft needs
Fifth Element?
World of
You gotta
Warcraft
porn
needs
of World of
contested
Warcraft.
wizard skill rolls where you're shooting beams at each other.
It needs
Yes.
fatal roll for
Button
anal
mashing.
circumference.
Yes, there we
That's
go.
one way to fix World of Warcraft. Roll for anal circumference.
I often said like a video game where you can literally battle rape somebody.
Yes, absolutely. You know what?
Awesome.
That's got to be on the top. That's now officially on the top of our list. How to fix
I mean-
World of Warcraft.
I mean, that was one thing cool about being undead is if you beat somebody in Battlegrounds, you can eat
you
their
could eat
body.
them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cannibalism rule. And,
I don't
and,
think you
and
can
their,
you do that
their
anymore?
dance
I
was
don't
like
think they let
a metal headbanging for their fucking dance, and you don't get that for any other race, so that's kind of cool.
What about higher level players bullying lower level ones as soon as they make it a character account?
Yeah, that seemed to have disappeared entirely with the the new system and shit.
They enter their house and start fucking bullying them.
You mean they don't have open?
Well, no one has a house.
To my house.
This is World of Warcraft we're talking about. There's no houses.
They come into my home.
This isn't Gaia Online.
They come into my home, complain about them making too much noise.
Yeah, they enter your house and start, well, fucking playing more Warcraft, nerd. Get the fucking keyboard.
That'd be awesome.
Why don't you play a good video game like EverQuest?
Well, everyone who plays
World of Warcraft.
Everyone who plays EverQuest is a fucking Chad with giant fucking muscles.
Yeah, apparently.
According
to EverQuest players, which is clearly the important criteria.
Speaking of that Chad pose, the new models for Shadow Sun just got announced the other day, and all I could think about is a lot of people saying, "Oh, she's very thick in that armor." I'm thinking to myself, they just gave her the Chad pose.
Oh no, we need to see that now. Shadow Sun isn't that?
Yeah, Tau. You know, the female Tau commander. Let me pull it up.
I know.
They aren't they not?
Whore.
I thought Tau were like. Aren't Tau like?
The Tau are definitely whores.
It's like
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the blue skin space weeaboo. Fuck. The blue skin
communists.
Space weeaboo communists.
They're weird communists too. They use smell to
gross.
Aren't they just space Chinese? Yeah, they're just space Chinese. Everything's based off of social score.
Don't they? Aren't they not even like really female? Don't they just like make some of them?
They have genders.
That's the orcs.
I thought they artificially like gave them.
That's a stereotype.
Okay,
that's racist.
The orcs don't have females. I know that, which is a disappointment.
Fucking shrooms.
Orcs just find them fucking.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing to us, but let's face it, it also does make the orcs superior.
Yeah. There's nothing more inferior than an orc female. All you have to do is subjugate her is just talk down to her. All of a sudden, she's your fucking personal toilet.
Just wave an axe in front of her, and she's in love.
There were orc females way back in the early days of original Warhammer.
There were. I didn't see any in the Warhammer class.
I always love the orc female GF.
Yes.
Meme where
I was just looking at that today. In fact, it was like, oh, weapons are part of my religion. They're like Mandalorians in a way.
It's great.
Except funnier with Cockney accents, throwing trash around everywhere because
boy, boys.
Boy, I want them teeth. Give me that script.
Look at the shiny one.
Hey, give me them shiny cupboards, you little kid.
Little kid.
It should be in there.
Hey guys, check the Discord chat. I just uploaded my favorite clip from any movie ever.
I'm afraid you're gonna have to describe it because no one else is watching.
I'm not. I can't fucking pull up tab on my thing.
You can't. Okay. Well, it's from The Fifth Element. It's right at the
Good Lord, everybody's in here.
Everyone's here.
Hi, Tochero.
How's it going?
It's going alright.
They also made a video that's essentially what's wrong with elves, you know? Oh, we have these elves, and now we're having this. You remember this guy? He's a god now, so we're making these elves.
What isn't wrong with elves?
Everything's wrong with elves.
Everything. Number one, everything.
Around elves, watch yourselves.
Elves in Warhammer or elves in Warhammer 40K?
All elves.
All
elves.
Number 15. Those ears.
Also, the one of the cherubs that you can have for Sis's battle looks like Winston Churchill.
Oh, that's great.
Looks like Winston Churchill with a robotic guy on a baby with a baby body.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds good.
Winston Churchill, the guy's a real jerk. This is very important for our episode about how to fix World of Warcraft. Elves especially. That was one of the prime points.
You want to fix World of Warcraft?
I'm sorry.
Delete
elves. That's kill all the elves. Kill all players who play elves.
Kill all elves now.
We all know that's good. We all know that's just literally gonna drive away what's left of their customers. And that's the point.
Good.
That sounds good to me. That sounds like the best.
Well, I'm not hearing a problem here.
Where's the downside? I don't see any downside to this.
Yeah, good point.
Blizzard must go.
So really, I think if they like put in like sex emotes and just like totally catered to all the RPers and everything, it would probably work.
And furries. Just add more animal races, more furries.
They're actually doing that.
They're adding the Finnick foxes, right?
But I mean, they already had Taurens, and then they added werewolves. It's like, how much more furry can you get? And the answer.
Well, the funny part is clearly the foxes just use the goblin animation rig.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So it's just.
I think that's what happened with the space goats. Was they just used Taurens?
Yeah,
think so. Really?
Well, actually,
the male Draenei used the Tauren animations. I think at least partially.
No, that's the broken Draenei.
Okay.
Whatever. Oh yeah, the
Tauren animations.
Clumser, you want some cringe for your recording?
Oh God.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
More cringe, you mean? Since we're talking about World of Warcraft and anime.
World of Warcraft.
So 3 days ago, I kicked the bathtub so hard it peels my big toenail back.
Man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Why did you hate your bathtub so much?
Talking shit.
Well,
Whatever,
Doesn't dissolve the body as fast as it used to.
I have a tick about spiders in my house.
Oh yeah, spiders.
Spider.
I do hate spiders. Yeah, I thought you said
Daddy
they were alright.
I have no problems with.
No, they aren't
house
alright.
Spiders I have no problems with. However, when you are a wolf spider or you happen to be a brown recluse, which is what this one was, I don't want you in my house because you're gonna freaking eat me.
Wolf spiders are basically harmless, but brown recluses are poisonous.
They're poisonous, yeah.
Deadly poisonous.
You
wake up.
That's where you have to tear open your shirt.
You get a big necrotized hole in your leg.
Yeah, you have to show the Rage Can tattoo on your chest.
When a wolf spider is the size of a quarter, no problem. But when a wolf spider is the size of a freaking cup holder,
or your entire hand,
When I used to
coaster,
the size of a Buick.
Coaster, that's where I draw the line.
when I used to live in Kazakhstan, we had those fuckers running around everywhere. Fucking, we called them camel spiders, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's the camel spiders that are like the size of a fucking dog or something.
Camel spiders are also actually a type of scorpion. They aren't even arachnids.
Oh,
yeah,
that's almost cool.
Yeah. Scorpions are arachnids.
they are arachnids.
I mean, technically,
They have two giant pincers for their mouths, and they bite, and they don't even have a poison. They just all the necrotic, all the old fucking lunches that
it's like an anesthetic or something that you can't feel, so they just peel the skin off your leg or something.
I think that's that
peel the skin, start salt in it, putting garlic, pepper.
Yeah, they just make a stew out of it, and they're like, "Oh, this is
hell
yummy."
Of a stew.
The problem with
you got
them
a stew going.
With camel spiders, that they're such fuckers that they immediately see that you're bigger than them, but they never stop. They're like berserkers. They just want to fuck with you. Like, you wanna go, man? Come on, get over here, motherfucker! And they just bite into your shoe, ruin your fucking boots.
I'll take you down with me.
Through shoes. They're like fucking honey badgers. They don't give a shit.
It's really insulting. It's like, why don't you just know that it could pulverize you? Because I'm going to if I get my hands on you, and they just don't care. It's really insulting.
My father was an officer in when the military was there before it was removed, and so he told me that the soldiers had like one of the pastime games that they would do is they would catch a tarantula and a wolf spider, a camel spider, and put them in a fucking can. glass cannon, see them fight, and they would
fight it out. Yeah, I mean that sounds fun.
Gonna win.
That's if you hate both of them so much, which I probably would. So I can't blame anyone for doing that.
Spiders are just Lovecraftian horror nightmare creatures.
I'm a fucking arachnophobe.
Yeah.
Anything speaking is an arachnophobe.
Speaking of great movies,
arachnophobia.
Yes.
I just wish
that one's disappeared. No one remembers arachnophobia anymore.
I just think like the whole movie should have centered around John Goodman's character.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he was like the best character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Especially one scene, he just sprays the shit out of one spider, and then it still crawls, so he sprays it more, and sprays it more, and then just stomps it, and it's like a gooey squish. And it's like,
it coats his entire shoe, entire boot.
They're like fucking super spiders, and then it establishes that they're like super duper. But the thing is that the worst of them were like tiny. Yeah. Like the one guy who had one of the spiders in his slipper, and he just puts on his slipper, it bites him, and he dies. And they're like, whoa, what happened? I don't know. I guess he just had a heart attack. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows what happened.
And then there's the girl in the shower. And so, you almost get to see some bullet. But then the spider goes between her fun bags.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. This movie's great.
Yeah, that's
down
right.
her stomach, down her navel.
John Goodman, honestly, in that movie was the Boba Fett of Empire.
Yeah, he was. He really was. He was the whole point. And the thing is, this was John Goodman like in his prime too. It was like right after Barton Fink and like before The Big Lebowski. But it was
during Roseanne.
Yeah, it was during Roseanne. I remember like the guy from Roseanne's in this movie about spiders. And it's like, oh, if you're afraid of spiders, this movie's gonna freak you out. And so everyone was like scaring the shit. It's like, oh, look at this fucking movie. Oh, the spider the size of a fucking baseball mitt. And he like shoots it with a nail gun and shit. While the house is on fire and spiders are crawling all down the walls are covered with spiders and shit.
He shows up at the end, like while the what's his name? God damn it! Who was the main guy in the movie?
Was it Bill Paxton? I don't know. Or
it was
Pullman.
Daniels. Yes. No, it was it? I thought it was Daniels. Jeff Daniels.
No, it was Daniels. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Daniels.
Just before he was in Speed.
Because he like shows up and like Jeff Daniels goes down to like fight the queen spider and the huge egg sac and everything, and he's up like spraying all the spiders with what looks like sulfuric acid blasters because it's like hitting the spiders and they like start smoking. And
what a great
movie. So by the time Jeff Daniels like comes up from like killing the main spider, like all the other spiders are just dead. Like, that John Goodman was specifically there to be like, just because this guy's here, all the small spiders are now dead.
Yeah. Because otherwise there would have been a billion of those fucking small spiders. Because they were crawling, they were covering the entire walls at that point in the movie.
No audience can take that.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's like, well, hold on a second, where's all the spiders? Because any one of the spiders gets away, it's like, they're just going to come right
Here comes a new queen. It's not like Aliens.
Yes.
Well, because the premise was the big one, which I think they used like an orb weaver for, the one that they got out of the Lost
Jungle
Valley. Yeah, that one supposedly interbreeded with a domestic spider, and that caused like a
new brand of super spider.
Yeah,
fucking just thinking about that movie freaks me out.
My whole thing with that movie was the takeaway as a kid versus an adult. As a kid, that movie messed me up.
Yeah, it's traumatizing.
As an adult, there was one takeaway I had from that entire movie, and it was Jeff Daniels fighting the Queen with the power hammer.
Yeah, that nail gun thing. That was like a fucking giant. It was like a spike thrower. It was like a Quake 2 fucking spike thrower. It was great.
That was also
But the takeaway was simply this: as an adult, I watched that fight, and all I could say to myself is, "This man's going to win the biggest lawsuit of his entire life."
Yeah,
not because of all the spiders, but because power hammers are not supposed to drive a nail unless you have impact.
Well, that was also like
you got to push it against a wall. It's not supposed to actually kill a spider.
For it to work. That's all power hammers.
Just
even the first
gently tap a spider.
you have to have that contact. That's a safety feature. They had to have that in order to make them in the first place.
So they got a faulty one.
Him rolling onto his back, pulling the trigger, and firing a nail.
He ordered one from AliExpress.
Well, you keep describing them as super spiders makes me think of South Park.
Super spiders.
Well, then there's a 8-Legged Freaks movie.
Not nearly as good, obviously. I mean, fucking.
The only thing
you go by titles, and that's like a sci-fi movie title almost. 8-Legged Freaks as opposed to Arachnophobia.
The entire time.
It would have been called Dinosaur Forest.
The only thing I could think of watching that entire movie was 1-800-COLLECT. 1-800-COLLECT. That was the commercials he was doing all the time back then.
I remember though, yeah, that and then they go to 1010 321 and all that kind of shit. That was the replacement for 1-800-COLLECT and all that crap.
That was back when he was dating Monica from Friends.
Back when Friends existed.
Well, they were married for a little while because they were in Scream with each other, and then
Scream.
That's
another movie that got forgotten. That's another movie that got forgotten was Scream.
Yeah,
that movie was fucking huge.
Yeah, that movie was gigantic.
It's like it's like a cinematic universe of Scream.
Yeah, that's right.
The Scream universe.
That's the memory of early millennials for you.
Yeah.
You had Jennifer Love Hewitt with I Know What You Did Last Summer. Then you had Scream.
That movie wasn't even nearly as good, though. Scream was actually a pretty decent movie.
And then, of course, you had those. You had 3 movies with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And then you had 4 movies with Scream. And honestly,
and Scary Movie had 5 movies.
Yeah, that's right. Scary Movie had 5.
Remember The Faculty?
Oh, yeah.
I remember The Faculty because Jon Stewart was in it. Wasn't that the first? Wasn't that Guillermo del Toro, or no? That was Rodriguez, wasn't it? Who did The Faculty?
I think it was Rodriguez.
Wasn't that the one with the aliens and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alien teacher.
It was basically Breakfast Club mixed with Invasion of the Bodies.
Yeah, with like more violence though. It was goofy as shit.
Watching Frodo get high on table salt.
Elijah Wood is funny as hell in that.
Yeah, that was a decent movie.
Here's a drug. Well, what is it? Oh, we're just going to call it something. Okay,
Have you guys seen that movie? It's called Class of 1997. I think
I've heard of that, but I never saw it.
Is that a trauma movie?
With the it's
robots.
Yeah, it's with the Terminator teacher.
Okay, yeah, I think I have heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
3 teachers who are Terminators, and it's fucking hilarious.
Well, okay. There's Class of '84, which is the one with the teacher.
Oh, that might have been what I actually heard of.
Yeah. And then there's the trauma one is Class of Nukem High.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, with the girl. Where the girl gives has a stillbirth of a mutant in the bathroom.
Oh, sounds hot.
Yeah.
Here's a question for y'all. With all these streaming services happening right now, the new ones coming out, HBO getting Friends and a bunch of those stuff. Anyway, do you think Netflix will be able to stay as strong in 2020 as it has been the last 2 years?
I think barely, but I mean, they just raised the price and shit, and everything's switching to these other streaming services. I think people will stick with Netflix just because they might have already had it, but it's going to start fading away.
Although one thing that Netflix is bringing to the table, though, is that they're catering to the more adult audience, and I adult in quotes, because Disney Plus isn't. They're keeping the stuff on Disney Plus up to like PG-13.
That's what I heard was like people saying, "Oh, Disney Plus has all these great old, like the great old like 1950s and 40s Disney cartoons that you can barely find anymore. You could just pop those right on." So I heard like people like Doug TenNapel and Tim Lim were telling me, because I talked to them, of course, but they were saying like, "Oh, I can put those on. My kids love watching that stuff," and it's like, "Oh, that's easy for people who have kids and stuff." So as far as that, Disney has that covered. But yeah, like as far as for not that, I mean, you would probably still want Netflix or Amazon, I guess.
There's no reason Netflix can't succeed. I mean, all they have to do is just increase the amount of movies that they have on their streaming service.
I don't know if they can do that anymore, but you know what they can do is their original content, they can make that better, but I don't think they know how.
So far, The Witcher is a good step in the right direction, though.
Is The Witcher any good?
Oh yeah, I fucking love that show.
The Witcher's pretty good.
I remember people saying like, "Oh, The Witcher's can be terrible," but I remember thinking, I think people said that about The Mandalorian too, and The Mandalorian ended up being really good.
Yeah, I recommend watching The Witcher. It's really, really good.
We still have Netflix, so I mean, it's sort of like we might as well.
I'll say it like this:
Disney also owns Hulu, so they probably throw more like adult shit that they own.
Well, Disney only seen like 5 episodes of it, but it's like its production is like that of the CW, but it's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds great.
Special effects is like
it has that charm of Xena the Princess Warrior.
Yes, Xena.
My only problem with Hulu has been the same problem I've had with Hulu since the beginning. When it first came out, it had stuff no one else had, which was cool. You know, it was cool to have things nobody else had. Hey, we've got anime. Okay, so does Joe Bob over there. But we've got anime that's not being shown anywhere else. Great. Let me watch it. Well, here you go. Here's season 3. That's great. What about season 1?
It's the good one.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the things about streaming the streaming platforms is they have to have everything of the one show, otherwise there's no point.
You know, I don't mind you starting. You know, if you first come out and you have season 1, that's okay. Even if in Japan they have 10 seasons, here in the US we have 5 seasons. If you're gonna put season 1 on there just to start with, fine. Follow it up with a couple months, season 2, fine. But don't you dare be so presumptuous and preposterous as to say, hey, we have anime no one else has. You want to watch it? Here you go. Here's season 3, 4, and 6. Well, what happened to 1, 2, and 5? Oh, we couldn't spring for it. We're not Jewish.
It's like going to a comic store and it's like, oh, here's Berserk Volume 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's like, well, you know, I kind of need to start at the beginning. But somebody bought them, and they can't really do a whole hell of a... I mean, they can't do anything about that. That local comic store can't do a lot about that, but a streaming service obviously doesn't have any limitations there. So it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, there's also...
Can I get ketchup on my hot dog?
Yeah.
I gotta say, some of the stuff on Hulu is like I don't like the Handmaid's Tale. It's a really it's a disgusting series that's mostly just fucking propaganda. I don't like that at all. Now, if you ask me though, when it comes to Hulu, some of their selections better like that. It's cheaper to get that through an HBO with that rather than get HBO Plus or HBO Go or whatever it's called. Because HBO Go just charges you twice as much, man.
Mm-hmm.
Does
it's
anyone
really
else
about
think...
how much you have to pay for it.
Does anyone else think that the DC streaming service is really just there desperately trying to do something?
Anything DC does is just trying.
Just trying.
Hoping.
I mean, I actually have a buddy, real life, I speak to, I see him.
He makes high top films.
And he has the DC streaming network. And I asked him, why did you get it? And he said, well, I'm a big DC fan. Well, okay, that's great. I like sex. Doesn't mean I go out and buy porn every day. Why'd you get DC streaming?
Yeah, I'm not going to go pay $300 in 1 month to rent a porn video. We live in a different era than that. We don't need to do that anymore.
You described him... You described that guy like he has this vintage like sports car, like some kind of Dodge or Ferrari, and he only on holidays, like once a year, he goes and drives his super retro sports car because only then he has money to afford fucking full tank of fuel or whatever.
He participates in the Dream Cruise.
Yeah, he goes to the Dream Cruises
service, and he told me that, well, number one, I'm a DC fan. Okay, that's great. Did my whole porn line.
He fucking loves Batman.
And then I said, okay, but really, why do you have the DC streaming service? Like, what are you getting out of it? What are you enjoying about it? What made you say, this is the streaming service I'm going to have? To which he says, well, I'm waiting. You're waiting.
I'm paying for potential. It's the PlayStation 3 excuse.
Yep.
And he tells me, well, I'm waiting for, and he's waiting for the birds. Damn it!
Birds of Prey.
Right. Yes.
Why?
I'm surprised. I never read a single comic of theirs, and yet I fucking was aware it's like Birds of Prey. Wait a second.
Well, I do want to see. What was it? Black Canary and her fishnets.
Yeah.
The only
fishnets.
The only draw I have to Birds of Prey is the fact that the gal who played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad is going to be the Harley Quinn for the TV series.
Margot Robbie.
She put a lot of effort into putting that role down.
The crack whore, Harley.
Yeah. Picking up those coins.
In the movie, if you happen to have a good ear for voices, you can hear her kind of pitch between 3 different Harley voices and kind of wiggle a little bit here and there, but for the most part, she had it pretty damn good.
She was attractive.
I have no problem with her in the movie.
Yes.
That's not my problem with the Suicide Squad movie, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nobody had the problem with Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. It's about 60,000 different other things.
Yeah.
There's
big problem.
Amanda Waller. The lady who played Amanda Waller was a great casting decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
There's supposed to be, if I remember correctly, the 40K animated series and live action Eisenhorn is supposed to be on Netflix, though. Which if I remember correctly, Dan Abnett's supposed to help out with the Eisenhorn series. Which, if that's the case, then it's going to be good. Because Dan Abnett's one hell of a writer, you know.
Oh yeah, Abnett. Wait, that's the guy. I'm trying to think.
He's the guy
he
who
wrote
writes...
Summer of Night, didn't he?
I do not know. I don't know that. I know
if he did, that would be good.
I know he's well known for his parts in the Horus Heresy. Gaunt's Ghost is my favorite part of it.
That's right.
Gaunt's Ghost is my favorite part of that, and he also does the Eisenhorn book series, which is one of Games Workshop's most popular series.
Is it still going?
Oh yeah, they're still doing that.
Jesus Christ! How much more can you squeeze one fucking desperate Inquisitor doing some bullshit?
Right now, I'd say it's getting close to the end of his life because he's trying to retire and he can't do that.
Retiring in 40K. Okay.
No, you can't retire as an Inquisitor.
3 millennia away from retirement.
You can't retire as an Inquisitor because you know too much.
I mean, the Emperor, I'm sure, would love to retire at this point.
But he's kind of stuck on that golden throne.
He doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
I've sitting on one of those velour chairs or whatever the fuck, not velvet. But yeah, you stick to them after a while if you don't get up.
He's grown himself a space baby somewhere in the warp.
Not velour, but Naga hide. Huge difference.
He's gonna get himself a new body and, have some fun.
He could use a new face, that's for sure.
Yeah, because his previous face is kind of, burnt off and more skeletal.
Yeah, needs some skin.
I mean,
after a few decades of rehabilitation, he'll be able to blink.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, that's a good way to fix World of Warcraft. See you next time, and World of Warcraft is the Steven Universe of video games.